Welcome along, fellow time travelers and strange historians. This time around, we're going to check out some of my favorite images of the pyramidal structure atop the Dakota. You're going to see some really cool snaps, some of which you may have never seen before. Before I begin, please like and share the show and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now please join me around the campfire. This is the Dakota apartment building. Most people only know about it because it is where John Lennon lived and died. In fact, this photo of John Lennon was taken on the roof of the Dakota and near the entry to the apartment inside the pyramidal-shaped structure on the roof. And that is the strange space that we're going to be showcasing today. And so, as you can see, there is so much more to know about the Dakota than that it was the location of the tragic death of John Lennon. I mean, this is a strange building, and it's had some strange residents, and has a strange architectural design, and it's got a strange history, which is why I love it, and probably why you love it too. And as you know, many famous people lived at the Dakota, including the great Lauren Bacall. But it was also the home of many people who might not have been world famous and household names, but they were famous in their own industry. Such was the case with the great Ward Bennett. Born in 1917, Ward Bennett was an American designer celebrated for his contributions to various fields, including furniture, interiors, and product design. This guy even designed food utensils. How cool is that? I mean, you ever look at forks and knives and spoons and say to yourself, who designed this? Well, it was guys like Ward Bennett. Bennett's design philosophy was characterized by a commitment to simplicity, functionality, and timelessness. And you're going to see that in his apartment. Now check this out. Ward Bennett moved into a former servant space in the attic of the Dakota in the 1940s. When he first moved in, he was paying only $40 a month, which included breakfast in the Dakota's restaurant on the ground floor. Oh, it also included maid service. But once the co-op conversion began, Ward Bennett made an offer in 1962 to acquire a set of rooms within the pyramidal structure, which was used for mechanical equipment for the elevators and storage, and at one time was even a place where staff had lived. Oh, the space even had an air shaft in the middle of it. So imagine what kind of visionary Ward Bennett must have been to look at this incredibly strange space and think, yeah, I'd like to live there. Now, before we go any further, let me ask you this. How do you think Ward got to his apartment? Day or night, in the freezing cold, in the dead of winter, or on the hottest days of summer? Well, check this out. The Dakota had 8 elevators, still does, 4 for residents and 4 for staff and deliveries. Now, the residential elevators only go up to the 8th floor. Following that, Ward needed to get out and take the stairs to the 9th floor. And then he needed to go up an additional set of stairs to get to the roof. And at that point, he needed to walk across the roof and to the entry to his apartment that was located on the south side of the structure. This schematic shows the layout of the apartment. There was a studio in the upper portion of the pyramid. On the ground floor was a long living room. And there was a kitchen to the left of the south entry. In the center was a light well that led down through the building. And on the north side was a gallery. Beyond that was his bedroom and a bathroom, and at the furthest end behind the bedroom was storage. This is the entry to Ward Bennett's apartment. At the time, it had a glass and aluminum door. And on the other side of the pyramidal structure was another door. And Ward Bennett installed this incredible and large north-facing skylight which framed views of the roof and Central Park. Now let's go inside. This was Ward Bennett's living room. Remember when you look at these images that this sort of interior design may seem like no big deal today, but this sort of simplistic, minimalist, modern look was really unusual at the time. And as you can see, the living room is long and had high walls that slanted inward. And he used to change things around quite a bit, including changing the color of his spiral staircase from white to black. And he kept the furniture low to the floor in order to allow guests to have views of the park from where they sat. And it also accentuated the height of the roof. The spiral staircase was a space-saving device that led up to his loft. And in the center of his loft was the Dakota's flagpole. Now, rather than freaking out and saying, "Oh my God, what am I going to do with a flagpole right in the middle of my room?" Ward Bennett embraced it, and he wrapped a round table around it, and he turned that space into his home office. And the studio had an open view to the floor below. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Before I continue, can you please do me a favor and like and share the show, and kindly subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Ward Bennett designed his own furniture, including, of course, this granite top work table that was on a stainless steel base with wheels, so he could easily move it around his apartment whenever he was in the mood to work someplace different. Ward would work and he would sit in that tufted leather Victorian chair. And over there is a U-shaped armchair and two small round tables that were made of automobile rims with sheet metal tops. And in the center of the living room, you can see a great buttress-like chimney. This gallery ran along the north side of the apartment. A built-in bench was covered with the same undyed carpet that was used throughout the living room, and it was for sitting and displaying art. You see, Ward didn't like to hang artwork, and honestly, it wouldn't be too easy to do on those angled walls anyway. But either way, he liked to move things around, and so he simply leaned the artwork against the walls. And on the left of the gallery was the air shaft, and the center window would pivot to let in fresh air. And metal subway grating covered radiators. Radiators? Radiators. Radiators, 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 radiators. What do you say? Let me know in the comments below. Radiators, radiators, in the windowsills, and made a bridge over the light well. And Ward would put plants and sculptures there. Although it would be kind of cool to walk across it, wouldn't it? At the far end was his very simplistic bedroom. It seemed larger than it was because it had a low archway to enter it, which was a technique used by Frank Lloyd Wright to make a room seem larger than it was because of the compression and then contrast of its entry. And those bare silver top light bulbs were sunk into the wall plaster. Because Ward Bennett never got married or had any kids, this one bedroom space was more than sufficient for his needs. Now, I know how much people love to see other people's kitchens and bathrooms. So, here is what Ward Bennett's bathroom looked like. The vintage bathtub was repainted and topped with a shower curtain liner that was made out of a raincoat material that hung from a ceiling track. And that rolling cart was imported from Germany. And this was Ward Bennett's sleek and efficient kitchen that was located at the entry to his apartment. All the appliances were grouped along one wall and covered by a stainless steel counter with a built-in butcher block. And so, as you can see, it was designed to be efficient and for entertaining. So, what do you think of the apartment inside the pyramid atop the Dakota? If you were rolling in dough, would you live in a place like that? You know I would. By the way, I don't know who took some of the images that I've shown in the show, so if you do, will you please let me know so I can give them the credit that they deserve. At this point, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this adventure to check out some of my favorite snaps of Ward Bennett's apartment in the pyramidal structure atop the Dakota apartment building. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because there will be more shows like this one, and I hope you check those out too. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. Specifically, I'd really appreciate it if you could become a member of my channel and or join me on Patreon. You could also leave a super thanks in the comments below. Kindly be kind to all non-human animals, and please, please, please don't eat them. They don't like that. Would you like that? You wouldn't like that. Remember, for the benefit of compassion for all living things and their own health, all of the Beatles and other brilliant people throughout history chose a plant-based diet. And please do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.